may interest you to know, that all the most rigorous scientific studies have found that masks don't prevent transmission of respiratory viruses.
Masks have essentially no benefit. N95 was developed to protect construction workers from dust. Dust particles are removed by those 95% effectively. Dust particles are thousands of times larger than COVID viruses, SARS-CoV-2, and it's like putting ping pong balls through a chain link fence. 95% of the time, they're just going to go straight through.
Dr. Fauci started out by saying correctly that masks don't do any good against respiratory viruses. He said it on 60 Minutes in I think it was March of 2020.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
And in saying that, for once, he was actually reflecting the scientific consensus, right? But then a couple months later, he completely flipped. The head of this Chinese CDC, George Gao, having said suddenly, everybody's got to wear a mask, right? Everybody in the West has got to wear a mask, as in China. Then Dr. Fauci shifted.
Masks are protective.
If you look at children outside, particularly when they're with the family, walking down the street, playing a game or what have you, don't have to wear a mask.
The Academy of Pediatrics actually makes that recommendation that children should be wearing masks from 2 years old onward.
I mean, I think I've got this right. 1 mask is better than 0 masks. 2 masks is better than 1 mask. But you don't have to have double masks. Is that right? I mean...
Then a couple months later, the World Health Organization shifted because they too had said correctly that masks don't do anything against respiratory viruses. But then they flipped.
A dispute over a mask led to a woman being tased by a cop at a middle school game. Of course, no, it should have never come to this. What is your right to refuse, and what is law enforcement's ability to enforce?
You have to have a mask on.
Shoot me, people?
No.
You're gonna shoot me for trying not to breathe?
Cool.
Come on, dude. People. No.
And there is Barack Obama dancing unmasked. He's been talking about the need to get a vaccine and all the other stuff. I don't think he wants to break from the CDC. What's interesting is I haven't heard the CDC commenting about this yet.
Masks are pretty magical, and they don't have much downside.
People with masks, they give up their individuality, they give up rights as free human beings. You become really, it's the beginning of slavery. African-American slaves in America, many of them, they wore masks. I have called the masks to be the symbolic